everyone. So today I wanted to talk to you about the royal wedding because I'm really surprised that so many people have an opinion on it and how that opinion is so split. It seems to be kind of not only dividing the nation but the whole kind of world. And I've seen so many comments on social media, some that are ultimately loving the royal wedding and are so in support of it, and others who are just sort of really angry about the royal wedding and sort of the amount of comments that have been made about and judgments about the fact that it was Mental Health Awareness Week. So, that was the biggest thing. And yet, mental health is a massive thing, and it should be. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining me live. Mental health is a huge issue, and so it should, I sincerely believe that a lot more resources should be dedicated to mental health. But from my understanding, both of the princes have done quite a lot in terms of awareness and talking about their issues and stuff, and their own kind of like mental health. And so I can't quite understand where that's coming from. About some people are saying about the money that was spent on the wedding and that it was all sort of taxpayers' money, whereas I've also read that the only money that was actually spent was on public security, just as it would be spent on the FA Cup final, for example, which was on the same day. Stuff about her dress, how her dress was so plain, it's her dress. And how, people hate the royal family and they're so privileged and they're born into this and, yeah, okay, but I don't think I wouldn't want it. I would not want that, kind of like to be, because I think, you might be sort of born into sort of like some circumstances, but I don't think it's all wonderful, and I think they have to kind of live their life a certain way, and they're forever getting judged on it. But to say that you hate the royal family, it seems quite harsh to me. And then another thing I saw was about Meghan, how she's desperate to marry Prince Harry. And almost kind of like quite sinister about her. And I just think, again, I really wouldn't want it. I know it's sort of like a lot of little girls' sort of like dream is to become a princess and things, but I wouldn't want it, and if we're gonna, really get to it, look how it worked out for Diana. Do you think she was happy? With all that going on, I wouldn't want it. And I just think there's so many judgments made about what was going on. And, and the thing is, I suppose, we see the media, we see the press, and a lot of people believe what they read. And I think the thing for me is I saw a comment by somebody that I thought would be less judgmental, somebody that I really kind of like look up to, and almost I don't know, I kind of thought she was very aspirational, and and she was commenting sort of quite negative and really quite harshly, and I was really taken aback. And I don't usually comment on things like on politics or anything like over Facebook, because I think a lot of what can be said can be misinterpreted. But I just felt compelled that I had to comment. And I think what I put is, I can understand people loving it. I can understand that people are you know, angered by, you know, the whole weekend and stuff. I wasn't really that fussed. I didn't watch it. I didn't sort of ignore it or anything, but I just chose that I didn't particularly feel the need to watch it. But I genuinely, just as any other couple, I would wish them, you know, great happiness in their marriage together. But for the one thing that I have learned is that I don't know the truth. I don't know their truth. I don't know the truth behind what it's like to be a royal, because that's not me. That's not my head. And, you know, and I don't judge. I do not judge anybody else, because I don't know what it's like to be them. So it seems harsh to me to judge somebody when you have no idea what's going on for them. And I know, just talking back about the media and the press, is that, you know, you know, you might have read that, you know, I certainly sort of said about it on here. I've been featured in Bella, the magazine, in Woman magazine, and in the Daily Mail, and I sort of shared my story, and, you know, because I sort of like developed anorexia after my divorce, and I was very clear to say, you know, it was my reaction. It was sort of like I had low self-esteem, I had low self-confidence, and it just sort of, it affected me, and this is the way that I reacted to it. You know, I don't blame my ex-husband. I probably did at the time because I was angry, I was hurt, and I was upset, etc. And used the eating disorder to block that out. But, you know, since I've worked through all that, I don't blame him for, you know, for my eating disorder. It was my way of dealing with things, and I can't blame that on him. It was my reaction. And so, but although I put that very strongly across, the headline was, "Divorce made me anorexic." In the small print, in the words, if you kind of like read through, it was very, you know, it put that, you know, I didn't blame him, etc. But the headline was selling the story. And so, you know, I again, when the things that we read are based, you know, on people that want to sell stories, you know, I tend to take it with a pinch of salt, and I do not judge. So what, yeah, and I think the people that do judge, and I probably did judge a lot before, because of the place that I was in, you know, and I think a lot of people do judge when they are fearful, when they are threatened, maybe when they're envious or jealous, you know. And so I just wanted to say that, you know, those who usually judge are those things: fearful, jealous, envious, threatened, whatever, you know. But don't be fearful of being you, of being true to yourself, of being completely you and the authentic you, for fear of anybody's judgment. Because you know what? That is totally their issue and not yours. Nothing to do with you. You can't sort of change people's reaction to how they kind of see you. You know, you can't help them being threatened by you, fearful of you, jealous of you. You can't. That's for them to sort out, and nothing to do with you. So just be yourself. Be proud to be you, and just shine your light. And you know what? Don't dim it for anybody. You just go out there and you be you, and you just do your best throughout life, and you have nothing to fear. And if those people want to judge you, just like they're judging, you know, other things, then that's their issue, and it is certainly not yours. And do not let those people bring you down, and do not, certainly, I know fear of judgment and stuff is I had a huge kind of like fear around judgment, particularly going through recovery and stuff. But people are gonna be people, you know, people are always gonna have things to say, and they could say things that they are meaning to be, well, you know, sort of like come across as nice and stuff, and they'll cock it up, you know, because of what's going on for us, because of how we interpret it, you know. But there will be people who, you know, say things that just are petty and horrible just to kind of make themselves feel better. But honestly, do not listen to those people. You just be true to you. You just do the best that you can in life. Be the best you. And you can't go wrong. You know, you really can't. Sorry, Sarah, I did see you commenting. I agree. Yeah, she was bulimic. You know, she wasn't happy. So, yeah, all this, you know, thing about, wouldn't it be great, you know, privileged and stuff to be born into or marry into the royal family. I think there's a lot of pressure on them, and I wouldn't want that at all. So I hope that made sense. But let me know, did you watch the royal wedding? Did you like it? Did you love it? Were you not bothered? You know, would you like to be a princess? You know, were you angered by the wedding, or are you not first? Or, you know, let me know your opinion, because I'm not saying that. One thing I do want to get across is this is just my opinion, you know, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying other people are wrong. This is just my feeling, and I do actually believe that, you know, it's quite harsh to judge people when we don't really know what's going on, but that is still my opinion. So if you have a different opinion, this is a democracy we're living in. So yeah, please, if you have another opinion, then please do let me know, and I'm glad to hear it, and to, you know, because perhaps you can make me understand something